Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on out there, guys? What's up? What's up, all you happy hashers out there? Hope you all are having a great day. I'm having a nice groovy day. So let's kind of dig right on into it. So as you guys know, I've got all these like little nerd axes, bit axes. Well, we're gonna talk about the nerd axe today, guys. So performance-wise, fucking Gucci. If you take this to the limitations of what the software allow you to do, you'll be in the ballpark of around 90-ish watts, which is fine for the power supply that comes with this. You're well within range. And for the most part, you keep it in that range, and this thing will live nice and happy. Won't be too hot, and just has a really nice performance on there. Now, always ways to be able to improve this. Like one of the ways, as you saw, that I did the power supply upgrade on there. If you have not seen that, go ahead and watch it. It was awesome. I even upgraded the fan on there too to get a 120 mil fan on there. So, in the current configuration, it's okay. It works. It absolutely is perfect. I got this one from solosatoshi.com. If you want to get one, use my affiliate link down below, guys. While you're down there, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that awesome stuff. Had to shill it. No shame in the game. So here we are. What can we do with these, right? How can we really hot rod these up? Now, there are liquid cooled options for this, and a liquid cooler would be a great option for this. When it comes down to water blocking, that's why I had to kind of process the way I wanted to say this. The way I would explain a liquid cooling, it's going to give you a little more of a headroom until it's fully heat soaked. You're going to achieve the same heat soak as if it was an air cooler. It's just going to take a little longer to get there. So you'll have peak performance for a little bit longer until the whole coolant loop gets to equilibrium on temperature. So you really don't get huge gains from it. You get a little bit of a gain, but not huge. I look at the gain that you get with a water cooler would be the same gain if I just put a gigantic air cooler onto this itself. But the first thing that I'm going to do here is really a basic one. I'm not gonna futz with the cooler on the front here, but I do kind of want to mess with this, and I do want to mess with the mount that's on here. Not that the one that Solo Satoshi sends with it is bad. Like I said, it still performs. It does the intended job, but what kind of hot rod channel would I be if I didn't monkey with something if I could? And when I say what I could do, and what's actually on here, well, I guess I could show it to you and just be out, get it over with, right? But I'm gonna kind of lead you on here, so I'm gonna make you watch this. So on the back here, we got the typical. I want to say this is like a 80 mil fan, I think it comes with. And then I forget the size on here, but this is the Thermalright. So this is actually like a standard low profile pancake cooler. So nothing super special with this cooler, and this is just a standard small little Noctua fan back here, right? And I've been running it for a while. Like I said, it does its job. Now, there are improvements that I have made. So let's go ahead and dig into said such improvement. So we're gonna go ahead and just, you know, show it, right? Check that out, everybody. We've made things proper. I've got a regular actual 120 mil fan on here, and the base on this, a little trick on it, right? Gotta think outside of that perpetual box every once in a while, right? So here's the original setup, right? Bam. If you look at it, this fan, yes, there's a hole on the other side, so it's not blowing up against a brick wall, right? But if you look at it, there's realistically the only where, if when this fan blows in, the only place, because like all this lattice work is closed off, so heat can't get out there. And then there's like this little bitty gap in between the mount and the board. That's where all the air comes out of there. I don't mind it. I mean, it's not like it's cooling down huge amounts of electronics on the backside, right? But I'd like to cool down the board a little better. And the only way you're going to cool down the board a little better is that you've got to give the air a bigger place to move. Where do we want that airflow to really be coming out? Let me unhook the fan off of this. We're going to take a tour of this. So the heat source is going to be, you got your voltage regulator on the back side here, right? That's one heat source. And then your major heat source is, it's got 4 BM1370 chips back here. So the big heat load is right here. And this is the secondary heat load, okay? Now, not saying that we should never cool this. Didn't say that, but the biggest heat load is going to be here. We need to be able to cool this down and get as much airflow over this area as possible. You can put coolers down onto it, and it will help kind of wick a little more heat off of the board. Because remember, guys, these BM1370 chips put most of the heat load towards the PCB, not towards the back of the pack of the ASIC chip package, where the cooler is actually sitting. That's why if you look at a Bitmain ASIC, they've got coolers on both sides of the board, because they know the heat needs to be pulled out of the board also. This will help maximize performance. I wish they would have actually taken a lot of these little components and moved them away a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I also get what's going on here. And I can kind of sit there and give people a little rundown. First off, we've got our 12 volt power in. We have our, these are inductors, so basically copper coils. People like to make sure they put coolers on there. This, sure, you can make an argument that there's, you know, heat load that are there that you want to cool it down. It's not as necessary. The IC, the actual voltage controllers are the black modules sitting on the closer to the board here. That's more prevalent to getting a little cooler on there than anything else. We want to make sure those are what stays happy. And then, of course, you know, getting, you know, if I was able to get a bunch of coolers on here without making contact with anything, because that's like my biggest fear is, you know, you put something on there, it makes contact, it shorts out, and things happen. I'd rather not that happening. So we're gonna do some other things that I think will also help, right? Now these boards should be able to handle power flow going into it without any issue on it. So I'm not as worried about what the gonna put it like I haven't felt like massive heat um on the board itself. There'll be areas where I will put stuff down because it's added security, I guess, on gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling. And at the end of the day, guys, if you guys don't have 3D printers and you guys would like me to print up something like this, hop into the Discord, links down below. Hit me up, and I don't charge an arm and a leg for this. I haven't like sat down and figured out what it actually cost me in material and electricity wise to actually make these, plus the fan, unless you want to get it without a fan and put your own fan in there, which is fine. But if you're looking for something like this, hit me up. I got a 3D printer and have no problem printing this stuff up, and I'll have different colors and all this other stuff if you guys are interested. So certainly hit me up. I know, shameless shill. And I'll tell you what, guys, if you like want to get yourself a completely fricked out one of these, you know, I can certainly do that for you too. There's more that I'm going to do to this. When I get done with this, you guys are wanting it done too. I kind of have an idea of what I'm looking at or what I might want to sell one of these for if I trick it all the way out the way I would. So if anybody's interested, certainly hit me up in Discord. Links down below. So let's go ahead and kind of show here. So again, you know, this is the standard configuration, and you know, it's like it doesn't blow at the backside of the board very well. It's very much centered at blowing at the back for the ASIC chips to keep the board cooler. See, that's what I was always saying. Like, this is less important up here. This is priority one, making sure we have optimum cooling for the ASIC chips. Last thing we want to do is be borking our chips and having to send those out to me so that I can replace them and get your things back up and hashing. If it ever breaks on you, you can always send your stuff over to me and I'll fix it, send it back for a small non-fee, of course, right? And then you can always, if you're sending it out to me for repair, you can always ask it, be like, hey, let me get the upgrade treatment, and you know, we can go over pricing on that too. I know, shameless shills. I know, right? I'm horrible like that. But I'm doing it in small steps because I like to kind of do a little testing with everything. So I have an idea of how much of a performance bump each individual thing does, right? So let's go ahead and swap over to this view here, because I'm not gonna, like, the first thing, I haven't even done this yet to see if it fits on here, so we're fitting this live right now. Woohoo! It fits. We're good to go. Oh, look at that. It's got like a little breather mouth coming out the bottom of the board now, and it's got way better opening here next to the board. Oh, this is nice. Very nice. Very nice. But like I said, I want to get some copper coolers onto some of these components so that we can start preserving our equipment. Like, if we're leaving it in stock format, you don't necessarily need to go through all of this trouble, but we're not doing that. Where we're going, stock is not an option. Let's see here. Smallest little things ever. Bam. And that's a one. A one. There we go. Let's see if I can get two peeled off in a row. Oh my god, I am on a streak here. Bam. Just like that. That's all you really need to do, really. That's like the biggest thing that you need to cool. You know, if I was going to say that, I'd be like, yes, that. Now, let's see if there's anything I can do about the backside of this. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we're going to put little guys in there. Why? 'Cause I can. And make sure those little coolers, since they are pure copper, don't touch anything. If they touch something, they are not going to have a good time. You will be sending that over to me to make a video for a small nominal fee. Bam. God, these things are so like, oh. You just drag your nail. If you don't have nails, you're gonna have to borrow somebody who does. Now, is what I'm doing project overkill? Possibly, possibly not. I don't know. I just like making sure I got coolers everywhere. It's kind of my thing. And that one's got some weird little controller there. So I will put you up there. Because I don't have anything that'll lay on there that I feel comfortable with touching near anything. And then you'll see this kind of weird little silver object right there. That's actually the crystal on there. So there is a crystalline chip that is for timing. So you have to be able to tell time in order to process code. There's the timer for the chipset. And if that goes bad at any point in time, the miner will also stop hashing. So like if this thing takes a drop, sometimes that can get broken, and this thing will stop hashing. So I've had that happen. I've repaired that from another miner. Not that it will happen. It's just something that I have had to repair before. And then I want to put a little cooler on the back here for the power coming in on the board. Keep the board power section a little cooler too. So bam, just like that. All right. And also on the back side here is where the backside of where the IC controller chip or the voltage regulators are. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll put something down there too. Why? Because I can. And I want to see if it actually makes any kind of significant difference. I got two of these. So we'll do one with all of these ones. Like I'll keep these the same because I like to keep the ASIC chips cool. Oh, come on off of me. Stupid static. But we'll do this one where we put a little extra cooling capability down. And see if it makes any bit of difference. Because, you know, for testing purposes, right, guys? Right. All right. All right, so now I could put some onto the voltage regulators too. I mean, the inductors. Let's see here. Yeah, we can do that. All right, we'll just take it like this because I have it. You know, like I said, we'll do ones. The other one that I have, we'll do it just on the voltage regulators themselves, and we won't put any of this extra cooling, and see if it actually keeps the whole section, the whole area cooler, or if it really is just a waste of copper. All right, so bam. Now, we can go ahead and plop this in. It has like a little bit of a satisfying click. I know my camera, my microphone doesn't pick it up that well, but it's got a satisfying little click. And since this thing takes 12 volts, of course these fans are also all 12 volts, so there's no interference with the fans that you're putting on here. Now, I'm not saying put a server fan on this, but any normal 120 volt fan plus this, you'll be perfectly fine. So that's what this thing will now look like. And it'll have ample cooling on there, so I'm happy. And let's go ahead and power this thing up and see how it's hashing. I'll be right back. And it's been about 20 minutes. With that being stated, let's go ahead and take a look at, hold on here, gotta make sure nothing that I don't want to see is being shown. Go to the other one, gotta do the same thing over here, bam, there we go. Now we can show the screen, so bam. Here is the unmodified NerdX++. This, like I said, is unmodified. We are using, you can see in the bottom lower left hand corner, you'll see the power area, and you'll see the input wattage is 112.5 watts. Voltage, it's seeing inputted in as 13.5 volts as the input, and the ASIC voltage voltage on there is 1.25 volts, which that basically, I want to make sure when I swap over, nothing is being shown, and I'm glad I did that. So I've got it on the stock side of it being ramped up, which would be 1250 millivolts on the core voltage, which in turn factors out to 1.25 volts on the ASIC package itself. Now, this is the unmodified one. The ASIC temperature is 63.3 degrees. VR temp, which is the voltage regulator temp, is at 60 C. So we can see that our temperatures are well within spec. We are under the 65 C on the ASIC temp, and again under 80 C on the VR temp. So we're fine. Let's go ahead and look at the other one, because there is a slight discrepancy, and it's kind of funny, because one would think that it might be the fan that did this, but you'd be wrong. And let me show it to you. If you look in the power distribution section again, we are at 116.8 watts. The overclocks are the same between the two boards. We are using 5 more watts on this board. You would think that that's the fan doing that, right? I would think that initially. I was like, wow, that's weird. Let me take a look at what kind of a fan I just put on there. So I flipped it over real quick, took a look at it. It's a 0.6 watt fan. That knocks you a fan. It uses a little over a half a watt. So this 116.5, this 5 volt difference is not the fan. The original fan that came on there that I replaced with the 120 was a 1 watt fan. So I've actually put a more efficient fan on there. And our wattage has jumped. Everything being the same. Our wattage jumped. Input voltage is the same. ASIC core voltage is the same between the two. 1.25 millivolts or 1.25 volts for 1250 millivolt reference on there. ASIC temp is 2 degrees Celsius cooler, or at least 1. Let me flip over to here. We are at 63.1 there, and we're at 61.3 here. So about 2 Celsius cooler, and we are running more wattage through the board. VR temp, voltage regulator. All I did was change a fan out, put some cooling pads on there, right? We're 52.4 C on the voltage regulator. And on the unmodified one, we're at 59.6, 60 C, you know, here and there, because if the heat was on a little bit ago and it was at 62. So it'll fluctuate probably between 59 to 62 degrees on the voltage regulator, where this one has been sitting there after 20 minutes, been sitting at 52 C. So I'm very, very happy. I'm just saying. I'm absolutely stoked, and I am getting a full 100. Yeah, I'm getting like 100 gigahash more hash rate. So I'm getting a little bit more hash rate, and all I've changed on there is putting a 120 millimeter fan on there that is running half the wattage of the original fan that I replaced with. So I got a more efficient fan on there. Woo-hoo! And it is giving me more performance, and it's utilizing more wattage. Why is it using more wattage if I put a more efficient fan on there? Everything is staying cooler. So if you keep everything a little bit more in check on cooling wise, things will start running a little better. I don't care what you want to do. If you can cool stuff down electronic wise, it will run a little more efficient. So it's not seeing the heat resistance in there, and it's not gonna kind of throttle itself in weird little ways. So just kind of keep that in mind. And again, if you guys are wanting to have any of these mods done on these, like whenever I get done with this NerdQX++ modified all the way, and you want that, certainly hit me up in the Discord, and I will do the modifications. If you're unable to, if you guys are looking for any of these prints, you can always hit me up in the Discord if you got a 3D printer. Otherwise, if you don't, you want them, certainly hit me up. For a small nominal fee, I can get this to you guys, if anything that you're wanting. Yeah, we'll go from there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. Smash the lazy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Stay savage, and may your watts be low and your hash be high. And I'll see you on the next one.